I mean, depression ran in my family.
Yes.
Particularly the Irish side, so it gets passed down in your DNA.
Yeah.
And it's going to pick off certain people as it goes. And my father suffered with it very greatly.
The story of Bruce Springsteen has always been one of resilience, grit, and unwavering dedication to music. For decades, the boss stood as a symbol of endurance, performing marathon concerts that stretched beyond 3 hours, pouring raw emotion into every lyric, and connecting with audiences across generations. But recent heartbreaking updates about his health have shaken fans around the world, revealing a more vulnerable side of the legendary performer. Behind the roaring crowds and iconic stage presence, Springsteen has quietly been facing challenges that force him to step back from the spotlight, an unfamiliar and deeply emotional decision for a man whose life has revolved around live performance. The concerns first intensified when tour dates began to disappear from schedules, leaving fans confused and worried. Announcement confirmed that Springsteen was battling a serious bout of peptic ulcer disease, a condition that causes painful sores in the stomach lining. While the diagnosis itself is not uncommon, the severity of symptoms, intense pain, fatigue, and the need for extended recovery meant that continuing the physically demanding performances he was known for was simply impossible. For an artist celebrated for his stamina, the news felt especially heartbreaking. His concerts weren't just shows. They were communal experiences, emotional marathons where he shared stories of struggle, hope, and perseverance. Suddenly, the man who embodied endurance was forced to slow down, and fans felt the weight of that reality. Sources close to the situation described how the decision to postpone shows was not made lightly. Springsteen, known for pushing through discomfort in the past, reportedly tried to continue rehearsals, hoping the symptoms would ease. But the pain persisted, and doctors strongly advised rest and treatment. This marked a rare moment where health had to take precedence over passion. For someone who built a career on connecting face-to-face with audiences, stepping away felt like losing a part of his identity. The emotional toll was evident in his heartfelt messages to fans, where he expressed regret and gratitude simultaneously, regret for the cancellations, and gratitude for the overwhelming support he received. The impact extended beyond the artist himself. Members of the E Street Band, who have shared the stage with him for decades, also felt the emotional weight of the situation. Their performances together have always been about chemistry, brotherhood, and shared energy. The pause in touring was not just a logistical change. It was a reminder that time and health affect even the most enduring musical partnerships. Fans who had followed Springsteen's journey since the days of albums like Born to Run and Born in the USA suddenly confronted the reality that their hero, like everyone else, was facing the limits of human endurance. As updates continued, reports emphasized that treatment was helping, but recovery required patience. Medical professionals explained that peptic ulcers can worsen under stress and physical strain, two things deeply embedded in the life of a touring musician. Springsteen's legendary performances, filled with jumping, running, and intense vocal delivery, placed significant pressure on his body. The realization that these very traits, his passion and intensity, may have contributed to his health challenges made the situation even more poignant. The qualities that defined him as an icon also became the factors that forced him to slow down. Fans responded with an outpouring of support across social media and fan communities. Messages described how Springsteen's music helped him through personal hardships, job losses, heartbreak, and moments of despair. Now, they wanted to return that support. Concert venues that once echoed with cheers became symbolic spaces of patience, with ticket holders willing to wait months or even years for rescheduled dates. This collective loyalty highlighted the profound bond between Springsteen and his audience. His songs had always been about ordinary people facing extraordinary struggles, and now he found himself living that narrative in real life. The emotional dimension deepened as interviews and insiders reveal how seriously Springsteen took the recovery process. Unlike temporary illnesses he may have brushed off in the past, this health scare served as a wake-up call. Friends and colleagues reportedly encouraged him to prioritize long-term well-being, emphasizing that fans would rather see him healthy than risk further complications. This shift in perspective marked a significant moment in his career, an acknowledgement that even legends must listen to their bodies. Despite the heartbreak, there were also hopeful signs. Gradual updates indicated that Springsteen was improving, regaining strength, and planning a careful return to the stage. The idea of his comeback became symbolic, a testament to resilience not just in lyrics, but in life itself. For decades, he sang about endurance and survival. Now he was living those themes. Each positive update felt like a step closer to hearing his voice echo once more through packed arenas. Ultimately, the heartbreaking updates on Bruce Springsteen's health scare reveal a deeply human story behind the legend. It is a story of vulnerability, resilience, and the emotional connection between an artist and his fans. The man who once seemed unstoppable faced a challenge that forced him to pause, reflect, and heal. Yet in that pause, his legacy only grew stronger. His journey reminds us that even icons must confront fragility, but also that strength lies in recovery, patience, and the unwavering support of those who believe in you. And as the world waits for his full return, one thing remains certain. When Bruce Springsteen steps back onto the stage, it won't just be a concert. It will be a triumphant moment of perseverance, hope, and the enduring spirit of the boss. The concern surrounding Bruce Springsteen grew deeper as additional details emerged, painting a picture not just of a temporary illness but of a moment that forced reflection on a legendary career spanning more than 5 decades. Known for his electrifying performances, Springsteen built a reputation for stamina that few artists could match. Concerts often stretched past 3 hours, with a musician sprinting across the stage, interacting with fans, and delivering emotionally charged vocals without pause. This relentless energy became part of his identity, making the sudden halt even more shocking. Fans who had witnessed his endurance firsthand struggled to reconcile the image of the unstoppable performer with the reality of someone needing extended rest and medical care. Those close to the situation describe how the health scare did not only affect scheduling but also change the atmosphere around rehearsals. Members of the E Street Band reportedly adjusted their expectations, focusing less on immediate performances and more on supporting their longtime friend. For decades, the band had functioned like a family, sharing the highs of sold-out arenas and the emotional weight of personal losses. This moment, however, required a different kind of unity, one centered on patience and care. The silence left by postponed shows felt unusual, as if a powerful engine that had run continuously for years had suddenly paused. The emotional impact extended beyond music. It was about protecting a bond that had defined rock history. Another heartbreaking dimension was the uncertainty. Health recoveries rarely follow predictable timelines, and this unpredictability left fans anxiously awaiting updates. Messages from Springsteen emphasized gratitude and optimism, yet the tone carried a sense of humility rarely seen from an artist known for commanding massive crowds. He spoke about listening to doctors, slowing down, and focusing on healing, words that resonated deeply because they reflected a shift in priorities. For someone whose life had revolved around performance, this period became one of introspection. It highlighted the reality that even icons must confront limits, and that strength sometimes means stepping back rather than pushing forward. The emotional connection between Springsteen and his fans intensified during this time. Songs from albums like The River and Darkness on the Edge of Town gained renewed meaning. Lyrics about struggle, endurance, and hope suddenly mirrored real-life circumstances. Fans revisited these songs not just as entertainment, but as reminders of the resilience Springsteen had always championed. Social media filled with tributes, concert memories, and messages of support, creating a virtual chorus encouraging him to focus on recovery. It was as though the audience that had drawn strength from his music was now sending that strength back to him. Behind the scenes, industry observers also recognized the broader implications. Springsteen's touring schedule had set a standard for longevity in live performance. His ability to maintain such intensity well into his 70s inspired countless artists. The health scare therefore served as a reminder of the physical demands of touring life. Endless travel, late nights, and high-energy performances take a toll, even on seasoned professionals. In this sense, Springsteen's situation sparked conversations about sustainability in the music industry, how artists can balance passion with long-term well-being. Despite the sadness surrounding the pause, hope remained central to the narrative. Gradual improvements hinted at a possible return, and each update became a milestone celebrated by fans. The idea of Springsteen stepping back onto the stage carried emotional weight far beyond a typical concert announcement. It symbolized perseverance, recovery, and the enduring power of music. For many, the anticipation of his comeback became a story in itself, a reminder that even during setbacks, resilience can prevail. This chapter in Springsteen's life ultimately reveals a deeply human side of a rock legend. The health scare stripped away the myth of invincibility and replaced it with something more relatable: vulnerability. Yet within that vulnerability lies a powerful message. Springsteen's journey reflects the themes he has sung about for decades: struggle, endurance, and hope. The heartbreak fans feel is matched by admiration for his willingness to prioritize health and return when ready.as the world waits for the next update. One truth remains clear. When Bruce Springsteen returns, whether to a packed arena or a smaller stage, the moment will carry a significance beyond music. It will represent resilience, gratitude, and the unbreakable bond between an artist and his audience. And in that moment, every note will feel stronger, every lyric more meaningful, and every cheer louder, because it will celebrate not just a performance, but a triumph over adversity. The heartbreaking updates surrounding Bruce Springsteen continue to unfold with a sense of emotional gravity that resonated far beyond the music industry. For decades, Springsteen had symbolized endurance, standing on stage night after night delivering performances that felt less like concerts and more like shared life experiences. Fans didn't just attend his shows, they lived them. His energy seemed limitless, his voice powerful, and his connection to the audience unbreakable. That's why the health scare felt so deeply personal. The idea that the boss could be forced to step away from the spotlight challenged the image many had held for years, that of an unstoppable performer who would keep going no matter what. As news of his condition spread, the emotional ripple effect reached across continents. Fans who had followed him since the early days of albums like Born to Run revisited memories of packed arenas, marathon encores, and moments where Springsteen seemed to pour every ounce of himself into the performance. These memories now carried a bittersweet tone. What once symbolized strength now reminded listeners of the physical toll such dedication demands. The very qualities that made him legendary, his stamina, intensity, and refusal to hold back, also highlighted the vulnerability that comes with pushing limits for decades. Those closest to him emphasized that recovery required patience. Touring at Springsteen's level is physically demanding, involving constant travel, late nights, and emotionally charged performances. The pause in activity became more than just a scheduling adjustment. It was a turning point. Members of the E Street Band reportedly rallied around him, offering support and understanding. Their decades-long bond transformed the situation into something deeply personal. This wasn't just about concerts being postponed. It was about protecting a friend and collaborator whose presence defined their shared musical journey. The uncertainty surrounding his return added another emotional layer. Unlike a simple break, a health scare introduces questions without immediate answers. Fans waited anxiously for updates, analyzing every statement, hoping for signs of improvement. Springsteen's own messages were filled with humility and gratitude. He thanked fans for their patience and expressed determination to recover fully before stepping back on stage. These words carried weight, showing a man who understood the importance of longevity over urgency. For someone known for pushing forward relentlessly, this shift demonstrated growth and self-awareness. Music critics and historians also reflected on the broader meaning of the moment. Springsteen's career has always been rooted in storytelling, songs about ordinary people facing extraordinary struggles. Albums like The River captured themes of resilience, hardship, and hope. Now, those same themes seem to echo in his personal life. The health scare transformed his story into one of the narratives he often sang about, facing adversity, stepping back, and preparing for a comeback stronger than before. This parallel made the situation feel almost poetic, though undeniably painful. The emotional connection between Springsteen and his fans became more visible than ever. Social media filled with messages of support, memories of life-changing concerts, and stories of how his music helped people through difficult times. Fans described attending shows during pivotal moments in their lives, graduations, heartbreaks, personal losses, and now they wanted to return that support. It created a powerful sense of community. The man who spent decades giving strength through music was now receiving it in return. Industry insiders also noted how this moment highlighted the realities of aging within rock and roll. Springsteen had defied expectations by maintaining intense performances well into his 70s. His dedication set a standard that few could match. Yet the health scare served as a reminder that even icons must adapt. Conversations emerge about balancing passion with sustainability, ensuring that artists can continue performing without risking long-term health. Springsteen's decision to prioritize recovery became an example of wisdom rather than weakness. Gradually, hopeful updates began to surface. Reports indicated that he was improving, regaining strength, and focusing on a careful return. Each positive sign felt like a victory. Fans began imagining the moment he would walk back onto the stage, guitar in hand, spotlight shining, crowd roaring. That return would carry deeper meaning than any ordinary concert. It would symbolize resilience, gratitude, and the enduring power of music to unite people during both joy and hardship. Ultimately, the heartbreaking updates on Bruce Springsteen's health scare reveal a powerful human story behind the legend. They remind us that even the strongest voices can face vulnerability, and that true strength lies in recovery and perseverance. Springsteen's journey continues to inspire, not just through songs, but through the courage to pause, heal, and return when ready. When he finally steps back into the spotlight, it won't just mark the continuation of a tour. It will celebrate endurance, hope, and the unbreakable bond between an artist and the millions who believe in him. As the story continued to unfold, the emotional weight surrounding Bruce Springsteen grew even heavier. For many, he had always seemed immune to time, a performer whose stamina challenged expectations. Night after night, he delivered performances that blurred the line between concert and emotional journey. But the health scare introduced a stark reminder: even legends face moments of fragility. This realization struck deeply with longtime fans who had followed his career since the early days, watching him evolve from a hungry storyteller into a global icon. The thought that the voice behind countless anthems might be forced to slow down created a sense of collective heartbreak, as if a chapter of music history had suddenly paused. During this period, reflections on his relentless touring schedule became unavoidable. Decades of high-energy shows, emotional intensity, and physical movement had defined his performances. Springsteen never treated concerts as routine. He treated them as missions, pouring every ounce of energy into each song. Members of the E Street Band often matched that intensity, creating unforgettable moments of musical chemistry. But the physical demands of this approach accumulated over time. The health scare served as a sobering reminder that even the strongest performers must eventually listen to their bodies. The silence of postponed shows echoed louder than any encore, emphasizing just how much his presence meant to audiences worldwide. Fans began revisiting his music with renewed emotion. Tracks from Darkness on the Edge of Town and Born in the USA took on deeper meaning, especially lyrics about endurance and struggle. These songs, once celebrated for their storytelling, now felt personal. Listeners found comfort in the idea that Springsteen himself had always sung about overcoming hardship. It created a powerful circle. His music had strengthened fans for decades, and now they were drawing on those same messages to send strength back to him. Social platforms filled with stories of concerts that changed lives, proving that his influence extended far beyond entertainment. Behind the scenes, those close to Springsteen reportedly emphasized the importance of a careful recovery. The decision to step back was not just medical, it was philosophical. It signaled a shift from relentless forward motion to thoughtful pacing. This moment revealed a different kind of strength, the courage to pause. For someone whose identity had been tied to constant performance, choosing rest required humility. It also demonstrated respect for the future, ensuring that any return would be sustainable rather than rushed. The anticipation of his